Hey, welcome to an episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Doing an old school beer. If you remember, you've been watching me since the early days. I remember this going way back to 2009, 2010. From my old friends at Southern Tier Brewing, Mocha Imperial Stout, 10% ABV, part of the Blackwater Series. It says the anytime treat. It's obviously Imperial Stout with chocolate and coffee. Best before November 22nd, so that's probably a year out. Not that it really matters. I think this beer will keep. Anyway, pour it into the Spiegel Stout glass. Give it a hard pour there. And it's a brown coming out of the bottle, black in the glass, and getting a large brown. Probably call it more foamy than frothy foam. And it has mostly display. We still got about a finger left. Let's give this thing a whiff. Wow, having flashbacks here because this smells like Southern Tier chocolate, which I haven't had in years. They don't distribute to Florida, at least they haven't in years. So I mean, wow, it's like Tootsie Roll Pop, or like if you walk into like a chocolatier, like a bakery or something like that. You know, just like that massive chocolate smell. Oddly enough, I really don't get okay, well, I do get a little on here. But I say this is like maybe 80 or 90% chocolate and the rest coffee. I don't really pick up any like hops or malts or anything other than just, you know, an Imperial Stout base. Yeah, so this smells like Southern Tier chocolate, which I haven't had in years, hopefully. And I haven't had this beer since, I don't know, it's got to be at least 10 years, maybe 12 or more. So here's to old times. Cheers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That definitely takes me back. I would say the taste is pretty much the same as I remember it. Although I will say that this is much more chocolatey than I remember. Like I said on the nose, like, you know, 80-20 chocolate to coffee ratio. I think it's probably about maybe 70 to 80 chocolate to coffee. Yeah, so when that beer hits my tongue, it is just like fudge. Or it's like Hershey syrup or something like that. Just straight chocolate. Although I will say it is an authentic chocolate flavor. To me doesn't seem like it's some kind of artificial flavor or anything like that. Like you get like those gourmet chocolate bars they have at the store. You know, they have like different percent of cocoa, like 80 to like 95 or something like that. This seems like a higher, one of those higher end, like the most expensive chocolate bars you can get. Yeah, so I would say fudgy chocolate. The coffee is like quite subtle. I get just kind of like a background, like way in the background there, just like a standard, like kind of medium roast coffee. Mostly just like on the finish, brief in the aftertaste. That alcohol is really tame. I wouldn't say it's subtle. It's just that it's tame. It's not like burning or anything. It's very smooth. It's not warming my throat. But it does kind of like, you know, high alcohol when you have really sweet beers. That kind of, you know, does a balance there. So like that, you know, the alcohol tends to just dry out that sweetness. Pretty big body beer. I wouldn't think it's not quite as big as like Bourbon County, but bigger than most, obviously. I'd probably put it like medium full to full body, smooth, really smooth, borderline creamy. I have had creamier beers, but this one, you know, this one's really smooth. Carbonation is probably put about moderate, maybe moderately low, which I think helps improve the smoothness. This is almost as if it were on nitro. Like it's like really that smooth, but it kind of lacks like that thick, chewy, creamy viscosity. By the way, I do get some actual hops on here. It's almost like a lintel. It's almost a little minty, which is something I remember going back years on Southern Tier chocolate. I guess you could call it like a herbal kind of hop. I remember they used Magnum on chocolate and probably like Cascade and Willamette. Probably what they're still using now. Those are fairly, I would assume, fairly easy to come by, fairly cheap hops. So I'm not getting pine on this one. Definitely not citrus, and nothing like European. This is not peppery or spicy or anything like that. It's just enough there to like offer balance. I would, my only complaint is like that. I wish that like there was like more of like the legit imperial base stout brew. I want to get like that like real like roasted malt flavor. And the coffee on this one is quite subtle. I would prefer like much stronger coffee. But as a chocolate beer, as a pastry stout, this is really doing it. Yeah, that's really tasty. Like I said, this does take me back. So pretty much the same as I remembered. But the only difference is like this is way less coffee than I remember. They also have that Java, which I don't know if they're rebooting that. I did have the creme brulee, a month or two ago, and I found this at Total Wine. So hopefully we get the Java and of course the chocolate. I would love to have that again. It's been a while. So for the mocha, this is really good. It's not perfect for all the reasons I just listed, but this is like a really solid pastry stout and fairly cheap compared to, some 16-ounce can from a brewery you never heard of. So I'm gonna go thinking like 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10 for this one. It's really, really good. It's a flawed masterpiece. There's a term I haven't used in a long time. So I'm rambling. If you watch all the way in, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys for Tuesday Night Beer School. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Review. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.